Everyone's worried that their customers are going to hate AI calls, and I completely understand. But what if this isn't actually the case? 77% of consumers actually accept AI support as long as they know that a human is still available if needed. Yet most businesses still fear and hold back on AI due to worry about customer backlash. But the problem isn't that customers hate AI, the problem is that businesses aren't implementing it properly, and that's why their customers are getting poor customer experience from the AI solutions they're putting in. So in this video, I'm going to address this misconception about how your customers actually feel about AI and how to make sure that your AI implementations are successful. And the adoption numbers are really telling the true story. 85% of customer service leaders are exploring or piloting customer service AI for their business. And 79% of businesses now prioritize AI capabilities in building out software for their company. Nearly 8 out of 10 companies are exploring or implementing AI systems within their workflows or their product offerings. So if they were so worried about customers hating it, why is there this mass adoption happening? This is important because businesses are leaving so much money on the table due to fear of implementing AI within their company. This is important because small and medium-sized businesses lose around $126,000 on average due to missed calls every single year. And the harsh reality is 85% of people will not call back if they reach voicemail, and 62% of people will go to your competitor if they have a poor customer experience. And when there's stats around like 43% of restaurants miss calls, and there's similar stats around for plumbing businesses, dental clinics, different types of clinics, then it's already apparent why we need to fix this issue. And the traditional way of doing this by hiring call centers or having receptionists doesn't work anymore. These people still need breaks, they have holidays, they're ill, they call in sick. These are all bottlenecks for your business that you can't afford to have anymore. And you've got to really think, what's really at stake here? If I don't implement AI systems, then my competitor will be, which means that I'm already on the back foot. So why is now the time to be thinking about this? Customer expectations are already changing. Customers are already used to chatting to interfaces like ChatGPT, Siri, Alexa. They're already used to talking to these systems. Therefore, they're also ready and used to talking to these automated systems for their customer service experiences. And a 2025 study found that while the general consensus around AI has declined and people aren't necessarily too comfortable with the entire technology just yet, people do have a positive sentiment towards specific use cases that actually handle a real problem. Meaning that the issue isn't AI itself, but it's how it's implemented within specific functions of your business. And predictions expect that by 2027, more than 50% of customer service queries will be handled by AI. That's up from 30% that we're already using within 2025. And the window of opportunity is narrowing. Businesses that are establishing themselves as AI-first businesses now are the ones getting a leg up, and they're really going to be able to stand head and shoulders above their competitors. The ones that are the latecomers are really going to struggle to keep up with their trajectory. So here's why customers don't actually hate AI calls. Most of the time, customers just want their problems solved, their questions answered, and they want to get to the next step that they desired when they made the call. And actually, 64% of customers have already admitted that they don't mind the AI calls because they actually find that they're more efficient than talking with a human representative. Customers also massively prefer talking to an AI system than talking to a voicemail. They like to be able to get an answer there and then rather than having to wait for a call back and not getting the answer to their question. And customers also want that 24/7 availability. They want to be able to call at 11 o'clock at night if they have a budding question that they need to ask. They would rather do that than have to wait for the 9 to 5 hours that most companies work in. And the funny thing is, most customers don't even realize they're talking to AI systems. These voices and these systems have come so far that customers don't even know most of the time. And all that they're realizing is that they're getting a great customer experience and they're really happy to see it. So the key takeaway from that is customers don't hate AI, they hate bad customer experiences. But you can get bad customer experiences from AI systems, but also from human representatives. So it's more about the system that's in place rather than whether it's AI or a human. So what are customers bothered about when it comes to voice calls? They don't like voice agents that sound robotic and unnatural. Monotone and clearly synthetic voices instantly give a bad reputation to your customers, and they don't like it. Modern AI voices already sound way more natural than they used to, but the problem is businesses are using outdated versions. A good example of this is if you compared an old IVR system with the press 1 to speak to customer service compared to a natural modern day AI voice agent. The difference is night and day. Something else that customers hate is that the AI systems that are set up can't actually help them with their problems. So it's just completely pointless to them. AI systems that can only answer pre-scripted questions really frustrate customers, especially when it's like a chatbot style system that then loops back to the same menu that you started off with. This is instantly obvious that you're talking to an AI system, but a poor one at that. And nearly 9 out of 10 consumers who have come across AI systems have a poor experience. just because the AI couldn't actually help them get to the next step, answer their question, or really resolve the reason why they called. And the final reason is when there's no human backup available at all. If the person knows that the buck stops with the AI agent and they can't get out of it what they need, then this really gets on customers' nerves. AI systems should be used to triage and handle basic requests and the requests that you're getting on a daily basis that don't need to be handled by a human. But we still need to have a human in the loop so that consumers really get the best quality service. And we really need to stop thinking about it as it's either AI systems or humans. We can't keep thinking about these as two separate things. The best way of running these systems is when you have a human assisted by an AI system. This just means the output is way greater than if you were to use one or the other. And when customers know that they can reach a human if needed, the customer experience and quality of the calls massively increases. So you might be wondering, how do I do this right? How do I make sure that I implement an AI voice agent that actually gives my customers the service that they demand and deserve? So first off, you need to choose a natural sounding voice. And it's really important to get the branding and the accent right as well, depending on where your business is based in the world. You want this to be a natural conversation, as if they'd called up your receptionist and they were speaking to someone who works for that company. You want it to be as normal as possible. You don't want it to stand out. And this can be done by using modern AI voice, because there's so many different versions of this now, and there's lots of different companies that have built some brilliant voice models that you're spoiled for choice. And it's also worth making sure you test the voices to make sure it matches your brand personality and how your customers expect to be talked to. You want to avoid the robotic, monotone, and overly formal voices. These aren't what your customers expect when they call you, so don't use them. And you also want to make sure that the systems are designed for your specific use case. You don't want to be doing the exact same thing as the business down the road, because you may get calls that are customer queries that are just asking about your services or your products, but the business down the road, you may get calls that are asking to get an out of hours service. So you need to make sure this is specific to the types of calls you receive on a daily basis to make sure your customers get the best experience possible. You want to focus on the high volume and repetitive tasks. So taking bookings, answering routine calls and questions, checking calendar availability, all of these things. You don't want the AI voice agent to try and handle every single situation. Not at first anyway. You want to have a testing period where you're able to really understand your customer behavior and then really refine and build out the agent to make sure that it matches their intent when giving your business a call. You also want to pay attention with the conversation flows that you're building. You want them to be natural and what your customers expect when they call you. But you also want them to be efficient. Don't long it out. Don't make customers have to sit through a really long conversation. Make sure it's efficient and they get exactly what they need out of it. And I'm also in the camp where you should always offer a human transfer option. Customers should still be able to get through to a human if they need to, because we shouldn't just throw these AI systems and expect them to just make do. If they're not getting what they need from your business, then they should have a way of getting it regardless of whether they use an AI system or your human representative. The idea is that the AI voice agent triages, not completely replaces. And make sure the escalation path is easy for your customers. Don't hide it behind the old IVR, press 1 for this, and make sure that your customers know how they can get through to a call handler. For example, by saying, I want to talk to someone. The AI system should then be able to understand that and transfer the call. And make sure that you thoroughly test these systems. Make sure you call up the AI voice agent before deploying it to your customers and really throw everything you can at it. Give it different situations. Find out how it actually handles those, because your customers are going to find it if you don't. And you'd rather find it yourself than a customer get a bad experience. But also, we tend to be biased and we might ask certain questions that we think people will ask. Sometimes it's best to get a fresh pair of eyes, so get friends, family, colleagues to also give it a call and see what they think, and then make sure that you test and refine the outcomes that you get from those calls. If you do everything that I spoke about, the transformation from your basic AI voice agent to the new level of voice agent is going to be dramatic. You'll get more calls answered throughout the day. Whenever your customers are calling, you'll be able to handle all of those. You'll have happier customers because they're getting served the exact way that they should be, and they're getting a great customer service. You'll have more revenue coming through your door because you won't be missing those opportunities, and each lead will be captured. Your team and your entire business will be under less stress because they'll be able to handle only the complex issues where you really need a human agent to be involved. The rest of it can be left to the AI voice agent, which means that your team can really focus on the work that they need to get done to move the needle for your business. And you'll have a massive competitive advantage over your competitors within the market. While they fumble around trying to work out which AI system to be using, or whether they use it at all, you'd be leaps and bounds ahead, and you'll be benefiting from AI systems way before they even consider implementing them. So, as I mentioned, customers don't hate AI systems. They hate bad customer service, regardless of whether that's from an AI system or a human. They just hate bad experiences. If you do this right, this is a game changer for your customer service. Customers just think that they have a brilliant customer service function and that they get their queries handled exactly how it should be every time. They have a great experience and they love working with your business. The businesses that win in 2026 aren't the ones that choose over humans or AI systems. They're the ones that intertwine both to make sure we're getting the max output from all of our business assets. So just make sure you're not one of those businesses that are waiting on the sidelines before implementing AI systems. The bridge to be able to get there early is closing, and you really want to be on the right side of the new AI revolution. And if you're interested in how AI voice agents work and how the growth line receptionist works, then watch the video in the description and you'll be able to find out more. Thanks.